Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about using submodules from the point of view of like in a real project and what that looks like in the workflow. And in advance, I apologize if there's any bleed through from the other room. You might hear other people talking, but I'm just putting that out there in advance so it doesn't surprise anyone. Um, so yeah, this project specifically has a structure like this. So if I go back here and I do ls, it does client, server, and shared. And the general idea is that I'm going to be using shared submodules between the client and the server because I want like the same code a lot of the time to be running on both. So in general, that's kind of what you want submodules for, is when you want that same behavior everywhere. You have a guarantee that like this sub project works in a certain way, and so that's a really nice thing to have. And obviously less code duplication, and when submodules are used in different projects, then benefits that you do in one project can carry over. So today, like, let's just type git status and see where we're at in terms of this project. And there's a lot of like probably stuff that, so all the time you'll see there's like client specific entities or like server specific entities, things that aren't in submodules. Those are dealt with in like the regular standard way, whereas things that have these parentheses like modified content, comma, untracked content, these are things that you'll want to look at. So in the regular workflow, we'll start with something easy, I think. So we're gonna start with this one first of all. And so the first step in dealing with the submodules, you need to get to that directory. So client source graphics batcher. So for me, I'm gonna go cd source, client source graphics batcher. And the first thing I type is I type git status, because with submodules, sometimes they're left not on main, but they're on like they're checked out on a very specific branch or commit, and it's like it's a detached head state where you can't commit on it. So if you see that and you see that it doesn't say on branch main, you're probably going to want to git checkout main. In my case, it's fine. So inside of the submodule, when I type git status, it only gives me the context of within this submodule. So everything outside of here wasn't duplicated. And what is said is, you can notice there's another submodule in here. So what that tells us is that that's a nested submodule. And so we want to repeat this process recursively. So then we go into cpp utils, type git status. And yeah, so this one has head detached at 761b9da. And the reason why is because when you default have a submodule, it will be like this. It's not on main, it's at the specific commit that you specified on it. And that makes sense because they're versioned packages or versioned, that's the way you kind of think of submodules. So in this case, we shouldn't be too surprised that we see that. But the thing is, you cannot commit on this state. So I'll pull up something I wrote about this a while ago, and I have a little page here that you can check out in the future if you're interested. But pretty much, let me find this. Yeah, so here is the problem. And so if you mess up and you commit on a head that's like looking like this, where it's detached, you're gonna need to do this procedure where you make a new temporary branch and then like merge it in. But we're just gonna avoid that altogether. So we have git status here, git diff. So what did we do here? Well, this looks like formatting. Let's see if there's anything that is not just formatting. And I think there is. I think docstring comment is a new thing. And I think that should be it. But the main thing here is that there's a lot of formatting, because I just ran my formatter over this probably for the first time since I've had it. So, let's just go with that. So the first thing is we're going to go git checkout main. I'm going to write git status here. And you can see the changes are brought over. And then we're going to do a git commit -a. And this is a feature, and the feature is we added the ability to add support for docstring. Right, that's what we did here. And then I'm going to git push. So what I've done right here is that now this submodule just got updated. And so what we want to do now is we want to go back to the parent directory that we were in before this. And you'll see that it went from whatever it was before, which I could scroll up and find out, I guess. It's kind of long, but I'll try my best. So before we had modified content, and now we have new commit. So whenever you